Now then, everyone, how are you all doing? Good to see you. Well, what a day. How's everyone's day been? There's just so much to do and so little time. How's everyone been? All right? Army of pointers. I love that. It's so funny. I think we'll just go with pointers. Because I think I'll get told off from my brothers. But yeah, it's good to see you guys. Well done for last night's stream, Gary, mate. I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was awesome. Well done, Amy, for winning. Oh, dear. So, I'm not going to lie. I feel a little underprepared. Yeah. But that's okay, because we've got this. So I just feel like I've been doing a lot, taking on a lot, and don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely loving it. Sometimes I let it sort of spiral out of control. So I need to. Tomorrow is a new day, and I'm gonna structure. But yeah, let's see it. How's everyone doing in the comments? What have you been up to? How's lockdown treating you? I was going to try play a new song, the song that I played the other day, but I've just tried to quickly loop it then, and it just went absolutely horribly wrong. So I'm just going to play an older tune, I think. I am looking forward to tonight. I am I know as much about this guy as you guys do, I think, unless there's a few of you that are super fans and whatnot. But yeah, I've heard him in Soundcheck. I've heard his latest single, which is amazing. It sounds awesome. So this is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be good to hear his side of things and learn along with you guys. And life is not a movie, and life is not a play. It's not for us to feed off all this misery. And who are you to judge me or stand in my way? I know that I'm not perfect, but say, don't point a finger, 'cause there's three pointing back. If only we would take a second just to reflect. And when we were younger, now we're carrying the world. If only we would listen to the things we were told. Life is not a play. It's not for us to feed off others' misery. And who are you to judge me or stand in my way? I know that I'm not perfect, but Thank you. Cheers, guys. Yeah, I was just saying the same, Maggie. I thoroughly enjoyed the Beatles night that Gary did, and I believe he's going to be doing that every Wednesday. So if you're about and do you want to go watch that, then please do. Hi, Catherine. How you doing? Good to see you. Hi, Mum. Living the dream. How you doing? How's Dad? I notice he never comments. What's going on? Does he not watch? What's going on? Casper. I'm out food shopping, but still had to log on. Of course you did, mate. Well done. Imi, you win every night, honestly. You can have the winning spot for first comment, whether you're first, second, third, last, whatever. You can have the winning spot every night. Nice one. There's a few in now. It's good. Steve-O, how you doing, mate? So what have we had then? We've had get practicing it in lockdown. That's funny. Thanks, Michael. Cheers. I appreciate that. Casper, I'm looking forward to seeing your video. When's that happening? I was only winding you up, Mum. Right. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to tonight's guest. Andy, are you ready, mate? He is. Is he giving me the thumbs up or anything? Yeah, we're ready. Here we go. Right. Okay. Let's jump into this. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 8. How you doing, man?
Hiya.
Good to see you.
Good. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all, man. It's a new one for me, this, because like I said to you before, usually I have people that I've kind of either I kind of worked with or I kind of built up a relationship with, whether it be through writing or touring or just friendship or something, just anything along those lines. So you are my first guest that I don't really know a right lot about, which is really good. It's going to be quite interesting for me because I'm really looking forward to hearing like your side of stuff and especially I'm a new to the music you sent me and stuff, and mate, it's brilliant. That new track you sent me is awesome, really good.
Oh, cheers. I feel like the new kid at school.
It's funny. I you're more than welcome here, mate. Honestly, like everyone here will love you, and they're going to be so warm and welcoming. But you're just going to have to bear with me because like I can't just go. Oh, do you remember that time that we played that gig at this place? You know.
What number is it now?
46, I think.
Jeez, oh.
Number 46, pal. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I can totally understand how you're not necessarily read up.
Mate, is it 46? It is 46. I've just checked. That's
an effort. Fair play.
Yeah, it's a lot of streaming, isn't it? But it was going to get to a point where I was going to start introducing new people, and when I received an email from Nova, he just dropped me a line kind of out of the blue, and it was actually from James Fernley's set. He played, and he saw this and was like, "Oh, Andy's single's coming out. Let's see if he'll jump on the show." And then I had a quick listen, and obviously I was like, "Yeah, man, definitely. Let's get you on and let's see what all this is about." So you got a new song. Nice. You got a new song coming out today, haven't you?
Well, it's coming out on Saturday, but I'm going to put out the lyric video right after this, just as a little preview. But it's available on Spotify and iTunes and stuff from Saturday.
Sweet.
It's nice because like I'm not used to having people do my PR for me, and Nova got in touch and just copied me into the email. Yeah. Really nice because being a solo artist, you normally have to do all that stuff yourself. So he's been brilliant. Like, we were
So
in the paper this week for the single as well, and it's just all his doing.
that's it.
So
So what's his part then at the moment? Is he just helping out a friend, or are you working with him, or
no, no, I
what's?
mean these songs are very much his as well. So he's in Scars on 45, who
Mm-hmm.
are from Bradford.
Yep.
And they're like one of my favorite bands ever, really. But we also went to the same school, me and Nova,
Right.
um, and we sort of kept in touch through music, and the Bradford music scene mainly. But about a year ago, I was in Bradford, and we started writing songs together. So we've actually been writing together for about a year. But when the lockdown hit, and our diaries just got kind of screwed up,
Yeah.
we actually decided, because I've got just about enough technology, as you heard in soundcheck, just about enough technology to record. And Nova has a little setup over in Denver. He's in America at the minute,
Is it?
at his
Very good.
girlfriend's, so that they're locked down and his flight was cancelled. And
Right.
so we've just kind of got his heads down and done a load of recording, and thought, you know what, we might as well release something.
Absolutely, man. You do right.
That was
So you've done this particular single. Have you done all this remotely, or did on the lead up to it? Did you have a bit of a skeleton of the song?
we had a voice memo of the song from the last time I saw him at the end of last year.
Right. Wow.
But no, we done the whole thing in the last 7 weeks. We've done 4 tracks. We're finishing off a fifth one, and hopefully we'll release an EP soon as well.
Great. That's awesome.
That's
So
good.
so every song on the EP is remotely done, based through this period of lockdown. Nothing's like you haven't sat on a back catalogue of music and sort of adapted some of it, or are they all fresh, brand new ideas that you've sort of brought to the table?
They haven't been written during lockdown, to be fair. Well, one of them has been written during lockdown. Don't
Okay.
worry, it's not like a sort of come by our lockdown song. It's just a normal song. But it's some of them do feel like older ideas now, because we wrote them last year.
Got you.
But like, you know yourself, from writing something to getting it out in the world, quite often it can be 1 or 2 years anyway. So they feel kind of new in that respect.
Yeah, the public blurred line of it is you put out a song and then another song comes out a little bit later. But we were talking about this chaos in between that's behind the scenes of the lead up to it. The actual piecing the music itself, or writing the music, piecing it all together, getting it mixed, getting it mastered, getting it remastered, getting it remixed, and going through all these different loopholes and ups and downs, and then eventually the song comes out and everyone goes, "Oh, that's really good," that, and you're like, cheers.
Yeah, and then the great thing is you also make absolutely no money from it, which
yeah,
is really
right. Icing on cake, innit? No, if we were doing it for money, then we're in the wrong business, really, aren't we?
Absolutely, yeah.
But no, it's cool to know that you still motoring on, during this time. I do know some people that have struggled to adapt to it, purely because, as you say, like, what I kind of find funny during soundcheck, you were like, I've set this up to a point where it works, but I literally have no other gear to be able to modify it in any other way. So like, people are maxing out on what they have at home to their, to be able to actually achieve some of these things. Some people have less, some people have more, and when it's one of those, then there's a huge influx of what they called iRigs and interfaces getting sold online. So then there's like a longer period before anyone can actually get their hands on any of them. So
absolutely, yeah.
it's
So I
been
do feel quite lucky to have enough equipment to at least function, because it's been. I assume that this will be one of the reasons why you've done the live streaming as well. It's a good point of focus.
100%.
You could be bouncing off the walls, and I know that when you've done it 46 times or whatever, it probably feels like maybe you want a day off. But like, I've really enjoyed doing music, and being forced into it has allowed me to kind of
100%.
fast track these songs. I'd have been stealing an hour here or there in the evening if it wasn't for the lockdown. So in that respect, it's been nice. Obviously, in all the other respects, we've all been inconvenienced by this, but it's nice to like make something positive out of it.
So do you do music full time, or
do
you do other stuff?
I don't
as
do
well?
this full time. I mean, I have been doing music full time for the last couple of years, but I teach and I play in a wedding band, and I do quite a lot of stuff under the radar. obviously this is my labor of love.
Yeah, of
But I
course.
don't think there's any shame in saying like it doesn't really pay the bills. Being a singer songwriter unless you're at a certain level of visibility. But
I
it
even
would be a
think to a
shame if you
certain,
stop.
I even think to a certain degree, the people that are of a certain stature struggle too. I think the reality of it is the overheads of being in a band and piecing it all together and touring and producing music and being totally independent. It's an expensive game to be in, and I
Absolutely.
don't think there's any shame in being able to say that you've got you're dipping your toe in other avenues of music, whether it be teaching or performing in a wedding band, mate. I think
Mm.
kudos to you. I think that's really good that you're able to be proactive and efficient with your time and achieve multiple things at once. So
Yeah, and it keeps it interesting as well. Even from a creative point of view, if you do a session gig for someone or you write some songs with other people, like when you come back to your own thing, it's way more enjoyable. It's quite a
yeah,
lonely road doing the singer songwriter thing. So actually being more collaborative and doing other things is kind of healthy for the project as well.
absolutely, yeah. So would you say that because did you mentioned you got a wedding band, or is that a solo venture as well, or is that a band?
No, it's a band. Yeah, it's a four
Okay.
piece band. We play all sorts of stuff. We play a lot of silly music
Yeah, yeah.
and fun stuff. So
Cool. So do you have a band with this project, with your original project too, or is it just you and your guitar and that's kind of
I call them my favors when
uh-huh.
I have an album to release. So
Got
like,
you.
when it's time to launch an album, my friends have been really helpful over the years to like back me for those big gigs.
Yeah,
Um, but I think because it's not a band, I, I do most of my like travel gigging
got you.
by myself. Support people wherever because that's
Yeah,
just me and a guitar.
yeah,
I don't have the guilt trip of taking someone else along with me that
yeah,
I can't really pay very much.
yeah. I understand. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um, but before you previously had a band as well. You mentioned to me that you were in another band.
Yeah, way back. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Bradford.
So what got you to this to a singer songwriter as
I
opposed
just
to the
hated
band?
them all, to be honest, mate. I hated the guts. um, uh, well, it was kind of a natural thing because like the age we were at, we were super young. I mean, I was 18 or 19 when the band stopped, and that was
Mm,
like a high school band. And we did quite a lot of original stuff, but I was moving off to uni. My brother was going to university as well.
got you.
So that kind of like ran its course naturally. But in the last year or so, I have done more trips, writing trips back to Bradford, and it just so happens that like one of the best things I've done over the last couple of years is my old bandmate Kieran Miller. I mentioned him in Soundcheck.
Yeah, yeah.
He's in a band called DMA around Bradford and Leeds, and like I've just got reconnected with him. Like we've always been in touch, but we've actually decided after my second album and his second album was out, we decided we'd do something together. So
Cool.
he was in my first band, and we've been writing a bunch of songs together over the last year
Nice.
as well. So the same trips where I've been visiting Nova from Scars on 45, I'd maybe do a day's writing with Nova and then a day's writing with Kieran, and I've been writing some stuff with a girl called Annie Drury as well,
Cool.
who's from Bradford, Leeds area, and they're all just really good. So I always, whenever I can, I'll pencil in a few days in Bradford and write with them all.
That's awesome. And the outcome of the writing, is it something that you would then perform and play, or are you writing for them? Are you writing for others? Are you writing for syncs? Are you what?
It depends. I mean, a bit of everything. So a lot of the stuff we're doing with Nova, there's even stuff that we've got behind the scenes that uh, we don't know whether we'll put it out commercially, but we really like the songs and we've got some really good singers singing on it, and we'll maybe just push that behind the scenes for,
Cool.
like you say, syncs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But then it depends on the writing session, right? Like if someone brings an idea and like with Annie, for instance, she's a brilliant singer, and sometimes it'll be me on lead vocals just because of the key we write the song in
Mm.
or whatever. But we've written some stuff for Annie. If she don't want to use it, I'll use it. It's kind of
Yeah.
chilled.
Yeah. That's good. That's awesome. It's definitely a world that I'm wanting to get a bit more involved in, and when it comes to like writing and stuff. Generally, like I've only ever really collaborated with artists on the basis of it being their solely going to be their song for their album, you know, and help develop their sound and that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Never really sort of properly delved into let's just write a song, see what happens with it, and turn it into something else that could potentially be for someone else. I think it's quite an interesting avenue to go down.
Yeah, no, it is. But then again, I guess to do that kind of thing seriously, it normally is, um, you know, like hired guns get sent in too, right,
Yeah.
for a specific artist. So I suppose in co-writing terms, I've been doing music years, but quite young. I haven't really done co-writing for that long. I've only done it for a couple of years, and
Yeah.
that's why I have the luxury of being like, oh, let's just write a song today. It lands where it lands. But you know, obviously the plan is the more of that you do, you will find your gigs that you have to take seriously, and you'll be writing for that artist's album or my
Yeah.
album
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever. But it has been really fun. It's been the best thing I've done. And the thing I've found is that small ideas can become full songs now.
Yeah.
When you just get over your inhibitions and actually show them to the person you're writing with, a small idea can be a finished song by the end of the day. And
That's
I
cool.
never used to. I used to hoard all my ideas in a massive iPhone.
Memos and
Yeah,
iPhone.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been nice to like actually just go, do you know what? Let's just show everybody my best idea on that day. And like quite often you'll get a full song out of it, which is
That's
which is
really
it.
cool. That's really cool. That's awesome. Anyhow, I think if you're about ready, man, I think it's probably a good time to maybe show everyone what you've got and what you can
Yeah.
do. And are you going to be playing a mix of? Are you doing all originals tonight or anything?
Yeah, I'll do all originals.
Great.
We're putting out the first song I'm going to play is the single. It's called Heaven 17th.
Nice.
And it's out
Great song, by the way.
on Saturday. Thank you.
It really was. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I might be about to butcher it, but
just press play on the CD.
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put. We're also putting out a second track
Right.
called Fault Line, so I'll play that as well. I've
Sweet.
never played that live, and then I'll maybe do an older one.
Great.
But yeah, this is Heaven 17th, which is out on Saturday.
Nice one. Take it away.
Thank you. Well, I took the bus I always took. Nowhere to go was just to look at all the traces on the trails, the little things I missed. With my head full of pretty girls and bad song ideas, looking for a destination. Took for granted all the things so soon to be taken. But one thing was so clear when we started here. We stood at the foot of the mountain with no fear, just looking for that feeling, looking for that hope, looking for that lightning strike like years ago. I'm tired of looking in the mirror, wondering where the old me go. Restart the fire in my soul, restart the fire in my soul. Restart the fire in my soul. And it was Heaven 17, how we'd never hear him call, telling us what we would be, greeting giants in their fall. But you were in the crowd was how we found those days at all. Maybe it couldn't last. 24 years went by so fast. Whether all that we dreamed could touch the things we saw, throw caution to the wind as we're playing for the draw. Just looking for that feeling, looking for that hope, looking for that lightning strike like years ago. I'm tired of looking in the mirror, wondering where the old me go. Restart the fire in my soul, restart the fire in my soul. Restart the fire in my soul, one you found those years ago. Restart the fire in my soul. Woo, woo. feel it, looking for that hope, looking for that lightning strike years ago. I'm tired of looking in the mirror, wondering where the old me go. Restart the fire in my soul, restart the fire in my soul, restart the fire in my soul. I'm tired of looking in the mirror, wondering where the old me go. Restart the fire in my soul. I'm coming home, I'm coming home.
Woo! Good work, man.
Thank you.
That sounded awesome.
Oh, cheers.
Really, really good, mate. Thoroughly enjoyed that. That was so good. Getting lots of love in the comments, man.
Oh, thanks.
I'm putting a few of them up on screen. I don't. You were kind of totally in the zone, man. So I don't think you saw any of them on the screen. But I'm sure you can watch it back and see.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, that was fantastic. So that's the latest single. That's the one that's going to be coming out. Did you say you were putting a video out straight after this stream?
Straight after, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I'm not very adept with technology, so it might take like an hour and a half
to make it public.
To press publish, yeah. But it's ready to go, I think, as soon as we get off the live stream. So yeah, it's there to listen to in full from tonight.
Great. That's well good. Nice one. All right, let's. I think we'll have a few questions, and then we'll have another song from you. So let's see what we got. When singing songs you've written, do you feel confident or vulnerable expressing yourself? That's a really good question. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah,
it's a nice one.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I think generally I feel confident because I've been doing it for a long time. And I do more original stuff than cover stuff. But I think actually you're probably onto something when you feel vulnerable doing it, because that's when the person will feel that vulnerability, and that becomes a weapon. Like my second album, I'm super proud of my second album, but what I was trying to do something that was a bit more like sound minded, so it wasn't like I'm a singer-songwriter, let me share my stories with you. It was more like I wanted to do something maybe a little bit cooler, try and use the voice as an instrument, and try and mix it in a certain way. Yourself, some things are mixed where it's like the vocalist is the protagonist, but some things can be more of like it's a piece of music and the voice is in there. And as a result, there weren't as many like soul bearing, songs on my second album. And I've actually found that like since that, I've very much gone back to trying to get that vulnerability again, and just saying it as it is, because there's power in that. And I'm by no means saying I'm the worst person, I'm the best person at doing it, but like we were just saying over dinner there, like Adele, when you listen to Adele singing Someone Like You, it feels like the end of the blooming world.
God, I know.
Do you know what I mean? But
I do know what you mean, yeah. 100%.
The reason why the nation kind of adopted that as the national anthem for about a year is because it shows the power of it. I know it's a sad song, but there's a massive amount of power in that song. So the vulnerability becomes the absolute opposite. Yeah. In cases like that. So it's worth doing it. It's worth just like saying it and taking a chance.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think that kind of stops me from I almost feel like I need to censor what I've got to say sometimes. Like I most of the time I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'll just say it how it is and try be as transparent as possible. Sometimes I'm just like, wow, that got dark real quick. I'm like, I don't want to say that. And then so I guess it can make for a good song, can't it? Like if you dare to say it, because it can be hugely relatable if you're if you've got a particular topic you're talking about, or heartbreak or whatever it might be, and you dare to say it, someone might get a sense of relief from that in the sense that they're like, wow, thank God I'm not the only one. That's awesome.
You're right. Like there's a juggling act to be done, right? Like you can't always say it in a really kind of direct way, and sometimes that just comes across as like, I don't know, maybe too emo or too direct, maybe. But I still think like as a general policy, doing it, like putting it out, and maybe run it by someone and edit it and find a new angle on it that you didn't see when you wrote it. But I still think like just saying it, like being brave enough to say it and then working on it later is something that I'm learning quite a lot about. And I think perhaps 2 years ago I wouldn't have done that. I'd have tried to think of the most indie smoke and mirrors way to say it.
You kind of use metaphors and like hidden meanings to maybe so it's not quite as not quite as in plain sight. I mean, which are equally nice. I do like that. I like that as a songwriting technique and stuff.
Yes,
but sometimes the direct way can be the best way.
Just knowing that it's part of your arsenal. I think that's what it is. It's like knowing that is an option, and it's a potentially a very powerful option, and not kind of cutting yourself off from those ideas because it feels uncomfortable, because that might be when you're onto something.
Tonight when you played that, I genuinely felt like I was at a gig. Like
I felt the same when I was in the waiting room, and it was cool because I haven't felt that in a long time. You know, when you're at a gig and you can hear the person before you, and you're almost, oh my god, I've got to front up. You know, I need to perform now because this person's like, it sounded really good, and
thanks,
it was
man.
Just like being at a gig. I thought the exact same thing.
No, I just felt like you really gave it everything. I like, and obviously I'm putting stuff up on the screen and all. I felt like you weren't distracted by anything. You just completely laser focused on what you were doing, and it was really good.
Well, it's because, like we were saying, I've been doing so much admin for the single this week. I haven't actually played guitar, so like I was thinking quite hard.
Right. No, in a good way though. It was like I felt like I was at the Brudenell or something in the crowd and just like totally absorbing the sound and everything.
Thank you.
It was really cool, man. Right, let's have another question, man. That was a good answer though. I like that. So how did you get into music, and what advice would you give to any artist trying to make it in the music industry?
Well, you're not looking at a guy that's made it, so
we get this question quite a lot, and I think it's defining make it, because from my perspective, I think you have made it, mate. The fact that you're pursuing music, like I think if the definition of making it is making millions of pounds and been as big as Lewis Capaldi and any other artist that's massively number one at the moment, then obviously it's not. We can't really relate, can we? But but I think it's nice to hear your perspective as best we can.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't mean to kind of fob off the question. So
no. I felt like I've just told you off. Then I didn't. Don't do it again. All right.
How right? So, well, I got into music. My parents are not musicians, but they were very supportive. So they allowed me to have piano lessons and stuff when I was a kid. They always encouraged me. But I got to the age of about 14 where the sort of formal side of music was boring the hell out of me, and I was just at that age when you're like getting into bands, getting into like real music and working out the difference between like S Club 7 and Radiohead, which when you're like 12, 11, you don't really know the difference. So I was kind of discovering all that stuff and ripping off a load of like stereophonic songs, learning chords on the guitar, and like not knowing very much about what you're doing, but like that's cool because you play a C chord or like a C add 9 and you think you invented it. And from like a creative
so you're saying I didn't invent it?
I'm really sorry to break it to you.
Oh my God.
I discovered that one when I was 13.
Yeah, sorry.
But like I got into it by not knowing too much about it. And writing like a ton of bad songs. I mean, I found my mum actually sent me an external hard drive because I'm running out of room on my laptop, and I found some of my old stuff, and it's like really, really bad. And
have you found any little gems in there?
No.
I love how you paused for a split second.
I was thinking, no. Was there anything? Did I salvage anything? No, absolutely not. But that's the point. Like, actually, if someone would have told me how it was when I was 15 and said, "Listen, son, you need to go out and do something else because that's appalling," like I would have never kept exploring it. So, my parents were really, really supportive, and we just got into gigging and did a load of really like bad gigs and just doing it badly, but loving it, really enjoying it. And
That's
it got
amazing.
to
That's great.
you just kind of trick yourself into being a little bit better at it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only thing. My advice is to not give up, because just because you see Ed Sheeran write a #1 single at 17 years old, that doesn't mean your trajectory isn't going to get you there. It's just that some people peak before other people in terms of talent. And he's obviously been there a decade. Like, he's a master pop songwriter. But there's other people that I know who have become really successful co-writers in their 30s and their 40s. So I think that's what it was. I just didn't allow. I was very lucky because I didn't have people discouraging me. But if I did, I'd like to think I wouldn't have let them stop me, because I love it. I love making music. So I really enjoy it, and that's why I'm doing it. And then you just get better over time, like with any skill.
It's time and pressure in it. You've you've just got to put the effort in, and no matter what position you're in at that time, don't be deterred to just like mold your craft a little bit more and try and improve it a little bit more each time. And
exactly, yeah.
Like if you picked up the guitar and you wrote a #1 song straight away, you'd be like, what the hell just happened? And I don't think you'd appreciate it half as much as if you'd have found a hard drive of songs that you didn't like.
Yeah, no, exactly, because it gives you a reference point.
Yeah.
It gives you a reference point, and
Ed Sheeran did that, didn't he? He did a talk show, and he was like, I wasn't always good, and he held his phone up, and his voice is breaking and all that stuff. It's hilarious. Really,
I saw that. Like, I'm a big fan, man. Like, I know that we're talking about a huge mainstream act now, but I appreciate the songwriting craft, because Ed Sheeran's one of those guys where, okay, what he's doing, it's not Paul Simon, it's not it's not like high art, but he can literally sit down and write an 8 out of 10 pop song every day of his life.
Yeah.
And that is a skill not to be scoffed at. And actually, I think his best work is amazing.
Do you ever think that it's as simple as the fact that he hasn't changed the formula? He's not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally learned how to do it, and he just keeps doing it time and again. He's almost like basically gone, right, this is what I need to do to write that song. Let's move it into this key, into this tempo, that timing, what other variables it is that can change it up slightly. But the nuts and bolts of the song is exactly the same as the last. And I know that that's the difference between a good song and a crap song, is whether it captures people's attention and stuff. But sometimes I forget writing a song isn't about trying to, as I say, reinvent the wheel every single time.
No.
Like, I don't need to find this new imagined chord. Like playing that chord that you learned from playing Dakota by Stereo, and putting that in your song and coming up with your own melody over it.
I couldn't agree more. Like, and maybe that, like, to answer the actual question about advice to people making it, let's use Ed Sheeran as an example. I feel like Ed Sheeran writes pop music as if no one's ever written a pop song. So he's not going, oh, well, the Beatles have done that and that's taken, because your template's absolutely empty by 2020 in terms of what you can actually feel is truly original. So I think that don't worry about, especially in the early days, don't worry about like ripping off your favorite artists. As long as you're doing it and getting that sort of procedure in place where you're just writing, your voice will come out like further down the line. So I think that would be my advice, like not to get discouraged. I'm 30 and I'm not a million Twitter followers or anything, but I still love doing it, and it'd be such a shame if I'd have stopped at 22 because of that. So just don't stop, don't be discouraged, and write songs as if no one's ever written a song before.
That's great advice. I'm even going to take that advice myself, mate, so thank you. Good night, everyone.
Look,
see you later.
you writing this down?
Right, mate. I think we'll. I always. We've had one tune off you so far, right?
Yes.
So let's get. I really enjoy the chat. I do enjoy talking to people. You see, that's the problem, and we start to run out of time. So let's make sure we get your other 2 songs from you, and we'll
Sure.
might have to do a quick fire round on the questions. But
Yeah,
there have been a few more coming in. So
brilliant.
if you have any further questions, anyone, please get them in the comments, and I will be sure to relay them over. Anyway, I'll hand you over, mate, and you do your thing. All right.
Thanks. Yeah. This is called Fault Line. So this is out on Saturday. I've never played this live, so we'll see how it goes.
Look forward to it.
Then you wonder why every time it's crashing down again. Every time it's slipping through your hands. Tell it any way you like. If you're awake at night. And I'll be anyone in any story you write. Therein lies the only truth you'll find, the only truth inside. When it's playing out like the first time, this time and the next time. Then you open fire every time you find someone to blame. Then you wonder why every time it's crashing down again. Every time it's slipping through your hands. Someone outside, just another name. When you lose in the fight, you throw the pieces away. Nothing but a bite, trouble in your way. When it's playing out like the first time, all in the cold light of day. Then you open fire every time you find someone to blame. Then you wonder why every time it's crashing down again. Well, you play like a game, but you're playing out real life. Well, you play like a game, but you're playing out real life. So keep your secrets, draw your 4 lines, watch them fade in time. Well, I went looking for the dark in my heart, I couldn't find it there. Just the shadows overhead, storm clouds around here. Well, I went looking for the dark in my heart, wasn't there? Must be somewhere, must be somewhere. Then you open fire every time you find someone to blame. Then you wonder why every time it's crashing down again. Well, you play like a game, but you're playing out real life. Well, you play like a game, but you're playing out real life. Just keep your secrets, draw your 4 lines, watch them fade in time. Thank you.
Incredible, mate. Honestly.
Cheers.
So good.
I should mention that like Nova wrote the music to that, basically.
He's he chimed in as well. He just jumped in the comments, and he said, "Let's see what he said."
It was all me.
This is the first time hearing it live. Nice work.
Ah, cheers. Yeah, so he wrote
Nova
that
approved.
to that. Yeah, that's good because that was literally like we're talking about different ways of writing. That was writing to track basically. So Nova sent me a backing track for that song.
Great.
We cut and pasted bits, but
Yeah,
he wrote the music to that one.
amazing. That's well good, mate. Right, let's get through some of these questions. There have been a few more, and then because I'm gonna have to finish bang on 8 o'clock today because it's Thursday, isn't it? We've got the whole NHS support tonight. So,
sure, yeah.
Right, let's get this question in. Should have had these prepared. Really, I was just too busy enjoying your music, mate. I was just chilling. Where is it? Okay, it says, which part of Yorkshire are you from? Maybe Bradford by the accent. If so,
Absolutely.
what inspired your music? What inspired your musical? Terrible at this reading, Lark. From where you are. Oh, sorry. If so, what inspired your musical from where you are? If not Bradford, where were you raised?
Yeah, no, Bradford, and like massively.
That was really hard work. I apologise about. Sorry, dude. Carry on.
Yeah, very much inspired by Bradford. So there was a music scene around the time when I first started gigging, and there was a few bands. So Scars and 45 were one of them. Their early material was brilliant, and the latest album was brilliant actually. But you know, they really inspired me at a certain age. And there was also a band called 14 Corners, who I don't think they do anything now. And
right.
they were always too cool to talk to, so I don't have any personal connection with them. But you know, I went to gigs in Bradford at the Love Apple when I was a kid, and you know, I was kind of going there thinking, yeah, I'm in a band, and I just got my ass kicked. Like I, you know, walked away thinking, these guys are like on another planet. I remember seeing Scars on 45 at St George's Hall, and seeing 14 Corners at the Love Apple, and just being like, I literally am a complete loser compared to these guys. Like I probably wasn't. I probably wasn't.
Yeah.
Really, I wasn't really bad at the time. That made me want to get better.
Yeah.
So I think like I owe those kind of acts that again were really great songwriters. Like Scars and 45 were a very successful band in the end, but at 14 Corners, like the guy who wrote their songs, there might be a MySpace page somewhere. Maybe I'll message you it after.
Does that exist anymore?
I think, well, that's the thing. Like I'm the only person that's been on MySpace in the last decade because I still go to their MySpace page to listen to the songs. I just thought they were brilliant. And so like they lyrically and stuff, northern, like a sort of northern delivery with some references. They had a song called Small Northern Town. Like, so if you YouTube 14 Corners, Small Northern Town, that was one of the songs that like, it's like, oh my God, you really can just say a load of stuff. It can be like spoken word.
Yeah.
Now I never went that far in terms of like singing really fast and saying loads of things, but it basically it was like lyrically you got to book your ideas up and say things in your songs because there's people out there that are actually like really good poets as well as, you know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Bradford's like massive with my musical brain, probably.
That's cool, man. Right, let's get another question. What comes first, the lyrics or the tune, or do you have a format, or is it just organic?
It's all like separate. So I have the notes that I'm telling you about on the phone with lyrics, and then I do voice memos every day. Just maybe 10 minutes a day. I'll just like hum stuff, and then I'll just shove them together and try different musical ideas out with different lyrical ideas. But then sometimes in co-writes, when you're doing it all at once, you kind of have to choose a musical style that suits the lyrics that you're working on with your partner. So sometimes it can happen all at once, but generally I actually have like a really massive backlog of both to kind of throw at each other.
Yeah. That's cool. I kind of do similar thing. Lots of little chunks of ideas and stuff like that, as opposed to trying to craft a song in one full swoop.
Exactly. But I think people in interviews always make it sound like and this song just arrived, man.
Yeah. It came to me.
Sent by the universe. Yeah, it came to me.
Yeah.
But I actually think that, you know, there's a lot of
The only reason why it came to them is because someone else wrote it and went, there you go, sing that.
yeah.
And then they went off and made loads of money.
Exactly. It's like I wrote this song in the bath. It's like, well, why is there 4 people in the credits? Was there 4 of you in the bath?
Well, it was actually a jacuzzi. Oh dear, that's funny, man. Right, okay. Has your music changed since the start of your career?
Yeah,
if
thank
all?
God. Thank God it's changed. No, but it has. So we were talking before about like I was in a rock band, and when you plugging in your instruments for the first time, it feels really good. So you end up kind of turning up to 11 and becoming a rock band.
Yeah.
And then when the band stopped and I wasn't gigging in that way, and all I had was a guitar at university, I became more of a sort of troubadour type. And then my last album was very electronic because I've done so many gigs where it was just me and this guitar that I kind of wanted to get away from that. So it's like, you know,
how did your following receive that? How did that go down?
Well, it helps to not have a following because
come off it, mate. Did they sort of like champion you whatever direction you go in, or?
I just noticed what was really nice with the second album was that I noticed that I got a better reception from different fragments, and fundamentally they're all songs. It's like they're all just pop songs. So yeah, I might have produced it in a slightly more electronic way, but actually people were really nice because I think fundamentally I wasn't avoiding writing pop songs. There's still very much a pop album, just sonically a little bit different. So no, people were really nice about it, and I managed to get on a few radio stations and playlists that I wouldn't have otherwise, if it had been an acoustic album. So in my world, it felt like a success. Obviously, commercially, it wasn't a success, but it was okay.
That's cool.
But it's changed.
I'm definitely going to go check out all of these the back catalogue of your music, mate. I'm very intrigued to hear, the sort of the growth of what you've written up to date now, because hearing them in the rawest form that you're playing them now, they sound absolutely solid. They're very strong songs, and you're delivering them really well. And then hearing you sent me a cheeky sneak preview of the lyric video before this as well, and I got a chance to listen to that, and the production on it and everything. It stands up, man. It's really good.
There's a guy in Denver in America, so near Nova, where Nova's locked down. There's a guy called Ben Waligorski who is he's mixed and mastered these tracks in lockdown for us, and I never thought that stuff that I did on my laptop could sound polished. I thought that's why you have to pay for studio time. But he's really he's made him sound like we've done him in a studio. I mean, there might be the odd crack or two, but it's actually that adds to sometimes that can add to the warmth of the recording. And
I agree.
Nova is just all the little gaps that I've left, he's filled them with really beautiful riffs. So the piano in that song, Heaven 17th, the first one, the piano's really important in that. And again, if your song gets better by sharing the idea and writing it with someone else, why the hell not?
Absolutely.
So
I quite agree with that. Right, should we get another tune from you, mate?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
How are we doing for time? What time is it?
We've got 4 minutes. We'll be fine.
Well, should we do the song and then we'll say goodbye?
Yeah, man. We'll play this and then we'll have any any sign offs and stuff, and we'll finish up and
cool. Nice one.
We'll run out. Right.
Thank you very much.
Take it away.
Right, this is an old one. This is called Falter. There you were in a corridor, and I lost all sense of navigation. There we were, oblivious to it all, and I found my only destination. Now I'm dying in the hindsight in my head, finding all the words I never said, and I'm saying sorry, I know it doesn't cover it. So hold that smile, we'll occupy the night, we're dancing around the reasons why. Sometimes the mind will wander, sometimes the fences fall, sometimes I find the answer standing where you are. I falter. There we were, wrong gear, wrong terminal. Every step in the wrong direction. On a silent flight, we're on separate sides, and I couldn't tell you why. Couldn't tell you why. Now I'm dying in hindsight in my head, fighting on the words I never said, and now I'm saying sorry. I know it doesn't cover it. Oh, that smile will occupy the night. Dancing around the reasons why. Sometimes the mind will wander, sometimes the fences fall, sometimes I find the answer standing where you are. Sometimes I'm going nowhere, sometimes I can't get out. Take control, I lose it all, I falter. Sometimes the mind will wander, sometimes the fences fall, sometimes I find the answer standing where you are. Sometimes you take me over, sometimes I can't get out. You take control, I lose it all, I falter, I falter. I falter. Thank you.
Nice work, man.
Oh,
Beautifully
cheers,
done.
mate.
Sounded great, honestly. It's been an
Really
absolute
enjoyed
pleasure having you tonight, mate. You've been extremely talented guy, mate, and you've given me a lot of inspiration, mate, as well. And
I enjoyed the chat.
I know people in the comments have loved it as well. So well done.
Thank you. That's great. It's great to hear. Thanks a lot, everyone that's commented.
Any final words to sign off?
No, just thanks for having me, and look forward to my new album with the zebra artwork.
Is that the artwork?
No, it's not. It's not. Don't worry. I'm kidding.
That'd be cool. Oh, I'm quite disappointed now. I might not watch it. I might not check it out now.
I'm going to put the video online.
Oh yeah.
If I can work it, so it should be.
Is it that still the unlisted link you sent me?
Correct. So I'll make it public now, and people can listen to it on Facebook and YouTube.
It's in the chat, people. So if you get a chance, please click that link. I've put the unlisted link in. Honestly, mate, thank you so much. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thanks
and
a lot,
you smashed it tonight, mate. So I'll speak to you very soon. All right.
Thank you for having me.
Take care of yourself.
Take care.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in again and the continued support. I massively appreciate it. If you're new here and you've yet to subscribe, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm going to go show my appreciation to the NHS now, so I'm going to have to run. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.